I defy the whole world to produce me a man old or young, rich or poor, Republican banker or Democratic mechanic who uses tobacco and is healthy in either liver, kidneys, heart, bladder, or any organ of the pelvic viscera. It cannot be done. The man does not live on earth who, not being wholly robbed of all the elements of a genuine physical manhood, is sound either physically, mentally, or morally, in the affectional departments of the human nature. Why? Is it because of the nicotine's poison, its chemical effects upon the body? No, not altogether. But it is because of the fact that tobacco, above all other plants on the earth except two, opium and hemp, possess the greatest volume of a peculiar and almost nameless magnetic element, nicotine, or narcotine, whose essential chemical in either their effects, but the quality in tobacco of which I write, is wholly dynamic, magnetic, ethereal, for while the chemical poison of the weed lays hold on the human stomach and nerves, this other thing attacks and defeats the very soul itself, actually so marked itself upon the very foundation structure of human nature as to make a dead man rap out his wish to come back to earth for a smoke or chew of the king of all weeds, tobacco. Tobacco is an Indian weed. It was the devil who sowed the seed. It was not far from right. If we are to judge by its effect upon almost 3/5 of the entire human race, deprived an old smoker of his pipe, and the old Nick is to pay in that particular locality right straight off. Persons who use the weed perspire when and where others do not. For a time it sharpens the intellect. After a while it permanently dulls them. Another appalling fact. An excessive smoker's brain, liver, and intestines are always irritated, if not ulcerated. Their hearts enlarge, thickens, and ossify. 9 times in 10 they die of either paralysis, heart disease, or apoplexy. And a truly healthy child was never yet sired by a tobacco-saturated father. Never will be. Never can be. For, in the precise degree to which he yields to his narcotic master, just so far is his will paralyzed, and when a man's will grows shetty, there's not much man about him. When a man's will grows shetty, there's not much man about him. His brain is clouded. His solids and fluids deteriorate, and the man cannot be wholly himself and master of every moral situation. And useless he is. That man is so far neurotic or unsound, which is the same thing. Hence, if the parent be so, how can the child be otherwise? For tobacco men will demean themselves and do things utterly degrading, put themselves on a level with their inferiors, and give and accept what would turn the stomach of a dog. Tobacco begets a chronic inflammation of both the mucous and serous surfaces of the digestive and assimilative viscera, occasions dull ulcers in the stomach, for no habitual tobacco smoker or chewer in earth, but who is at times horribly dyspeptic. And these dyspepsias are far more frequently than is suspected, occasioned by either ulcers in one of the two stomachs, considering the duodenum as one, or else by cancers at sometimes the cardiac, but more often at the pyloric orifice. The mouth of the stomach emptying into the second organ of the digestive economy. Tobacco attacks the generative system whoever uses it, and under its inflaming effects boys often go to ruin, and men to the brothels of the land. Sorry to say it, but it is the heaven's truth, and must be said by someone. Tobacco and virtue are incompatibles, and a man can no more be cool and calm and true, affectionately with his body soaked in tobacco juice, or his brains fumigated with smoke, than a ring-tailed monkey can lecture upon the rise and fall of empires. I will, and let me say in reference to the myriad so-called tobacco antidotes, they are mostly deliberate, heartless frauds, swindles, cheats, gotten up to make money for their sellers and fools of the buyers. Do not touch them. There are several persons in the land who flood the markets with what they call tobacco antidotes, which antidotes are known to be varied compounds of ginseng, gentian, cohosh, black alderbark, wild cherry, lemon peel, and to ensure the effect required are dully tempered with material which mostly abounds in foul pens. the whole being seasoned with chamomile flowers and various spices by way of additional fillip. From the immemorial, lemon rinds and chamomile flowers have been used as break-off substitutes for tobacco, also as chewing and smoking material, and in isolated cases with undoubted success, albeit the majority whose resort to them alone incontestably make bad work of it and most disastrously fail. During the last 30 years, hundreds of so-called magnetists have offered their services to cure the habit, but their success was not great by any means, mainly for the reason that their subjects, when from under their personal influence, had nothing to sustain them in their new-formed resolution, and the disease for tobacco using as such speedily regained its diabolic mastery over them. These adventurous quacks wax rich in their trade, but fail to cure, which is not to be wondered at, seeing that they treat the disease as wholly chemical, whereas in fact it is not merely a chemical, but a social, mental, and moral disease as well. And to be expected to cure a victim of the habit without bringing his will and moral forces into active play during the chemical process of cure is to look for sunsets in the east. For a man may chew a mountain of lemon peel, gentian, chamomile, cohosh, and pumpkin seeds with a hennery thrown in or up, and yet be no better off unless moral means are used as well. For after all, the best and quickest and surest way to be cured is to say and mean goodbye, tobacco, and stick to it for 21 days, and the thing is done. But as only a few can do this, I lay down the following efficacious and infallible method for cure under 7 heads. And first, sassafras is the natural antagon of tobacco. Keep a handful of the bark of the root in the pocket, and occasionally chew a bit of thereof. It may also be cut up and smoked for a while. Where is it at? The sassafras. That's the sassafras. It may also be cut up and smoked for a while, during the time that the tobacco essence, nicotine, is being eliminated from the system, which process occupies 3 periods of 21 days. 21 full days each, during the first term of which the liver, stomach, and intestines become mainly discharged of the tobacco element. The patient suffers some, but not greatly. During the first 3 weeks, during the second 3 weeks, the poison leaves the kidneys, bladder, muscles, spleen, and intestines, and the patient suffers more. In the third period, the nerves, genital system, and brain, and parting after long companionship is pretty hard business. Consequently, the temptation to have another smoke, just one, or a little bit of a chew, only a little one, is considerably strong, if not more so. But when a man has reached his 50th day of abstention, and then falls back, he is no man, only a weakling, that's all. Secondly, keep the skin and teeth well cleansed, for when once the tobacco essence gets started outwards, it keeps coming till there is no more left to venture forth. Hence frequent ablutions are absolutely necessary in order that the cur may readily escape. Thirdly, a man should positively avoid hot drinks, tea, coffee, etc., and also all pipes, cakes, sweets, oysters, spices during the process. Fourth, he should use no fats, but may eat pickles, suck lemons, beef, salt fish, and meat to his stomach's content. Fifth, he should frequently rinse the mouth in cold water. Do it whenever the longing for tobacco comes rather too strongly for comfort and ease. It will soon subside and constantly grow weaker. On no account either taste, touch, or smell tobacco if possible to avoid it. 6. Exert the will strongly against the habit as much as possible. Avoid frequently in places where it is used, or the society of such as are slaves to it. 7th and lastly, procure a 2-ounce vial, and into it put half an ounce each of tincture cinnamon, sassafras, gelsemium, 1/8 of an ounce, and barosma, half an ounce. Fill up with sugar. Keep the vial in the pocket, and whenever the tobacco agony occurs, wet the finger with the solution and rub it over the teeth and gums. Observe all these directions faithfully, and you will soon triumph over one of the most bitter and vindictive foes that ever yet assimilated humankind. Final note: to sustain the system during the process of the elimination of the poison nicotine, it is desirable